Hey, Battalion Nation.
We have a live show on location.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We're going to have trouble getting 2 points.
Brought to you by Sports Illustrated Tickets and Happy Dad Beverages.
Hey Battalion Nation, we are in downtown North Bay at the Moose's Cookhouse for episode 18 of the Troops Trio, the official podcast of the North Bay Battalion. Today's guests are Carter Kunopaski and Brandt Harper, and I'm going to send it over to your hosts. We got Ranjan, Bob, and Matt Sukram.
Thank you, AJ. Troops Trio is also proudly sponsored by the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, and the Fox and Fiddle. But of course, a big thank you to the Moose Cookhouse, where we are live tonight. We want to thank the viewers, as always, for watching on the Battalion YouTube page. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and share this with everyone you know. Bob, Ranjan, great to see you guys. Bit of a different. I'm gonna need physiotherapy after today's episode. Battalion, they've won 4 in a row. They've won 8 of their last 9. What's been working for them lately?
Everything. I mean, if you think about it, their goaltending has been really good. Their team defense, outstanding, especially Sunday against Niagara. I think it all started with those big wins on the road. We did that watch party the night they edged Peterborough, and then they, after a loss to Kingston, they won a huge game in Ottawa, I thought, gave them a lot of confidence, and they just continued it last week. Big come-from-behind win over Kingston, a win in Sudbury, 5-1 against the Wolves this year now, and just I thought it was a perfect game if there is one. I'm sure the coaches would disagree, but on Sunday against Niagara, 5-0, dominated throughout, and some really great stuff, and they're battling for those points as we head down the stretch.
I like to look at the 3 phases of the game, when things are going well and also when things aren't going well. It's a good way to break it down. Offensively, it's very good, and you have guys accepting roles on the different lines and delivering results there. Defensively, sound structure. You just saw in that game in Niagara, 21 shots against. Jack Lisson made good stops, but he was not hung out to dry. And no odd man rushes as far as I can recall. Very few puck transfer problems in the defensive zone, just one that I recall. So very solid that way. When you're on when you've won 8 out of 9 or 4 in a row the way you have, it's not usually one magic ingredient that's responsible. I think they're playing as a 5-man unit more so than I've seen all season long, and it harkens back to some of those championship teams that we saw that won 3 Central Division crowns. Starting to see them, not quite yet, but we're starting to see them play more like that kind of a club.
And Sunday, for example, they were missing a couple of key pieces, including one of our guests tonight, but also Caden Petrie didn't play. And there was no letdown on the week overall. Usually you win big games like they did in Peterborough and Ottawa. You figure there might be a letdown maybe against Sudbury or Niagara, but we didn't see that. So really they're playing with a lot of confidence.
And Bobby had a chance to catch up with head coach Ryan Olhang to get his thoughts on what he thought about his team's performance over the weekend. So, producer Gerald, can we see that clip now?
Another episode of Coffee with Coach, Battalion head coach Ryan Olahan. And Ryan, 3-0 on the week. Big come-from-behind win over Kingston here on Thursday. Went on the road and beat Sudbury on Friday. And then I thought a dominating performance on Sunday over Niagara. Really good week considering the week before you won those 2 road games and you didn't sort of flatline.
Yeah, it was. And that's kind of, we've been forced to sort of do that. There's no secret we're trying to climb up here a little bit. And now we've done a really good job to close that gap and make things really interesting and continue our push and continue our pace. But yeah, happy with the weekend. Certainly the results are nice, but I did think that we got better as the week went on. You talked about the performance on Sunday. That's one in which we want to replicate as much as possible. I thought we were extremely good defensively, on Sunday, which led to us generating a lot of offense and really playing in their own zone. So, yeah, a lot of things that we were kind of talking about as the weekend went on. I don't necessarily think we had our best stuff on Thursday and Friday, but we're able to find victories. And then once again, just a really good performance on Sunday. I know the guys are feeling good, and now the challenge is to sort of keep that momentum going here. We got a few days, obviously, to do our routine, recover yesterday, practice today and tomorrow, and get ready for Oshawa, who's playing extremely good hockey, by the way, since the deadline.
So 2 points there. He touched on maybe not having their best game on Thursday and Friday. I thought the Thursday game against Kingston, I thought Kingston actually turned the puck over a lot in the first and second period, and the Battalion weren't really able to take advantage of it. And then the third, it was a completely different third period than the first 2 periods, and the Battalion were able to overcome a late rally there by the Frontenacs. The second point he touched on is about the team defense. They're playing really good team defense over this last little stretch. I found they're playing a lot of games with 7D, and I want to ask you guys: is that going to be a strategy that you think can work going into the postseason?
So I think it's been out of necessity more often than not to have 7D, because we do have some excess assets on the back end. You have good defensemen like Kapajaritis sometimes being watching so that we can get Kunopaski in, Karmarov in. So there's a necessity to have 7D on the back end. Up front, 11 forwards will tell you that they don't mind double shifting. So if you have 11 forwards, you get a chance for procession to see more ice time. Some of the skill forwards like Callie can see more ice time and maybe exploit the other team when you have procession on a fourth line setup. It doesn't work that well on the road when you're not in control of your matchups, when the other coach has last change. So there's some drawbacks. It's not sustainable long term. And in the playoffs on the road, if you can imagine, in Peterborough, let's say, you've got 11 forwards, it's going to be taxing on a guy like Procession to be double shifting.
Now, the thing about 11 and 7 is it's not preferable. No coach wants to be doing it for the long term. But on the other hand, forward's never going to complain about more ice time.
Right.
But for the defense, that's where the adjustment is. And also in the coaching aspect of it, because you're going to have different partners throughout the game. And it's obviously defense is a big key, especially on the road, as you say. But they have 9D. And they've been trying to get everybody in. But at some point, I think they're going to have to whittle that down to the 6 they're going to use in those big games. But they've had injuries up front too, right? So it's made the adjustments a little easier, I think, for the coaching staff, knowing by necessity. But at some point, I think they'll be back to 12 and 6.
With the 11 forwards, it's possible to protect a forward who's banged up. You have an opportunity to sit him, give him some rest, and the 7D is a way to get Kunopaski in the lineup. And I think the more we see of Kunopaski in the lineup, the better, because he's a 16-year-old defenseman who's ready to play and ready to have an impact. And that's been one of the blessings of having 7D more often than not.
Well, one of the other guys that is making their mark on defense, and he has been for the last couple of years, is Aaron Enright. And Bobby had a chance to talk to Coach Houlihan about Aaron Enright specifically. So why don't we hear that now? Producer Gerald, hit that clip.
Number 4 on your D. He doesn't get a lot of headlines. But to me, you had a big lead late in the game on Sunday. He's blocking shots. He's really helping out his goaltender. Talk about the value of having a player like that, especially as we approach the playoffs.
So important. I mean, and you talk about somebody that relishes that role and really, wants to bring that night in and night out. He was somebody, even in the last 10 minutes of Sunday's game, we were playing for Jack at that point, and he was getting the guys up on the bench and, to dig deep and do those moments. So we've seen it here in the past before. I mean, he's kind of got that pedigree of a Marcus McIver type, a Paul Christopoulos type, guys that are kind of slated to play against the other team's top guys, frustrate them, block shots, and really take care of his own zone. And that's what Aaron Enright does.
That's something that I think that has helped them shoot up the standings a little bit. They're still fighting for that home ice advantage. They're right neck and neck with the Peterborough Petes, and that's something else you talk to Coach Houlihan about. They're watching the scoreboard, they're checking the standings, and they want to make sure everybody is healthy. So let's hear one more time from Coach Houlihan right now.
As we do this interview, you're one back, you're in 5th place, big win in Niagara to really create more room for you there in 5th, but it's going to be quite a race as these games this week go on. How important are the standings as you game plan?
Well, like I said, we would be, I can't stand here and say that we wouldn't want to climb up and grab home ice. I think it would be a great reward for our players, especially as of late and the way we've played. Now saying that, it's not the end-all be-all, but it would be extremely nice. We put ourselves in a situation here where, and not that we can't worry about the guys below us, but it's nice to be able to just worry about yourselves and feel that we can take care of business. And I think that's the attitude that we have to have, even though we're, watching Peterborough closely, and it would be, great for other teams to help us out that way. It really, when I look at it, if we take care of our own business, then, we shouldn't have to worry about even them. So, we'll see how things play out. It's going to be a fun, exciting, next 3 weeks. We want to keep playing hard. We want to keep peaking at the right time. And I think we're doing that and slowly getting to a place where we want to be.
8 games left, 6 at home, 2 on the road. How's the healthier team going in the last 3 weeks?
Pretty good. We had a one little thing there in Sudbury where we lost Brandt Harper. I don't think it's long term, but he might be banged up just a little bit. Outside of that, looking pretty good, and we're working towards getting Mikey back here healthy. I know he's to a place where he is going to be practicing here full time this week, so see how that goes. But things are trending in the right direction for us.
Okay, thanks, Battalion head coach Ryan Olan.
Thanks, Bob.
And one of the big things, the Battalion have been talking about, marching to the playoffs. Obviously, play of the words of March, but also get the team in a good position when the playoffs start. And it's great to have a race that you're actively involved with down the stretch. 6 games at home, 2 on the road, and some big ones coming up, right? We've got a couple this week, but next Thursday against Brantford, that'll be a big test, big barometer. They play Brantford twice, and the big game coming up at home, probably the biggest left in the regular season at home, is the one on March 15th against the Petes, which could potentially decide home ice advantage for what looks like a first-round playoff series. So it's great when you have these races down the stretch. The fans can look forward to some big games.
Last word.
Yeah, I just wondered, that segment is called Coffee with the Coach, but I never see a coffee, Bob. What happened to the coffee?
Well, the coffee's out of camera.
Coffee.
He did get a coffee, right, Producer Gerald? Yeah, and I got a hot chocolate out of the deal, so it's
All right,
part of
okay.
my contract.
I had to know that. So they've done their work, like he said. Rearview mirror, you've got Kingston, and it looks like we've taken care of business that way with that win over Kingston, win over Niagara, bit of breathing room there, and we can focus on just playing Battalion hockey. And if this season ends and we're still a point behind Peterborough, that's just the way it's going to be. I think that has the potential of being a 7-game series.
All right, we want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you the show, as well as Sports Illustrated tickets. And we need to thank our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, the Fox and Fiddle, and the Moose Cookhouse, where we are live tonight. Make sure you check out the Battalion social media channels to find out all the latest with Troops Trio. And don't forget, you can send your comments and questions to us at troopstrio@battalionhockey.com. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, our guests, Carter Kunopaski and Brandt Harper, will join us. This is Troops Trio, the official podcast of the North Bay Battalion. This is the Sports Illustrated Tickets Battalion defining moment of the week. From big plays on the ice to the fans in the stands who make every game special, Sports Illustrated Tickets gets you closer to the moments that matter with seats to sports, concerts, and theater events around the globe. Visit sitickets.com or download the app today.
Here's Dubratsev. Fumbled the puck somewhat, but carried on. Here's a chance for Dubratsev. He scores! A great recovery by Gino Dubratsev.
Sports Illustrated Tickets, the official partner of the North Bay Battalion and the Troops Trio podcast. Welcome back. We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as Sports Illustrated Tickets and our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, the Fox and Fiddle, and the Moose Cookhouse, where we are live tonight. And now we are joined by Battalion defensemen Carter Kunopaski and Brandt Harper. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Great to have you on the show. First time for you guys being a part of Troops Trio. Carter, second-round draft pick by North Bay just last year. Brandt, you came to the Battalion as a free agent before the season began. So got to know, how are you guys enjoying your first years in the OHL and your first years in being in North Bay?
Okay, I'll take it away. So I came in from the USHL last year, and as soon as the rule change happened, I wanted to explore my options and ended up here, and it's been really good. The boys are an easy group to get along with, and just they've been really good, and I have some great billets, and it's been great. Yeah.
Carter?
It's been great. Just like Harp said, the boys are super welcoming, and obviously it's my first year playing junior hockey this year, so it was a big step for me, but I'm glad I was lucky enough drafted to the North Bay Battalion, but it's been great so far.
Both of you guys, I've been impressed by how easily you've adapted to playing, in the OHL. What do you, maybe each of you in your own way can answer, what's been the toughest thing, what's been the easiest thing when you play in a league you haven't played in before?
I don't know if there's ever really an easy thing with adjustment, but I'd say probably one of the tougher things is there's a lot of high-end talent in the OHL. Coming from the USHL, it's pretty similar. Like, teams are pretty similar, all that, but there's a lot more high-end talent. Like, you're playing a potential first-round draft pick every single night, someone that's been drafted, someone that might be signed, and I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. That's probably the biggest difference right there.
For me, it's just like I got a shout out to Bill Houlder. He's been someone who helped me a lot in my first year here, and just learning the new systems I think has been one of the hardest things, but I think now I've got him down pat, and big shout out to Bill Houlder for helping me out with that.
So how is Bill doing? He had a bit of an upset there, and he's been seen around the ring, so that's a good sign. And so what as far as you can tell, how's he doing?
He's been great, actually. I mean, his attitude hasn't changed. I've never seen him down. Like, he's always smiling, always asking how the boys are. He's back at the rink now doing video with us. He's our PK guy, so he's back on that. But he hasn't changed at all. He's just always got a positive spirit.
So take us through what a typical interaction with Bill Houlder is. You're a defenseman with a bit more seasoning than Carter. But what kind of impact does Bill have on your game since you arrived here in North Bay?
For me, he's definitely given me more of a mature look to the game. Coming in this season, just working with him, doing video, doing skills, all that stuff. Just his insight, he's making my game more mature, whereas I'm back more often, whereas I'm making more simple plays, and I think that's a lot of him right there.
Obviously, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that he's taught me a lot of new things, and I think that the player I was last year compared to now has a big factor on that. So,
yeah, I was just gonna agree that he does a great job with newcomers, seeing it with you, seeing it with really all the guys, and really impressive. I think the way you've shown your style of play. I mean, there was one hit you made last week against Kingston, which got the fans really pumped. So your type of hockey really fits in well with the fan base here. Growing up, were you always a physical defenseman, or is this something that you've sort of adjusted to as time's gone on?
I've always been a physical defenseman. I mean, my dad played linebacker in high school football, so he's always encouraged that. But I don't know, ever since we were allowed to hit in U14, I think it was, I kind of it started working for me, and I don't know, I like when people hit and fight, and I think when people come to watch North Bay Battalion, I want to be a player that they come and watch. It's obviously, it helps the game and gets the boys going, and it's good, but it also is for the fans too. When I watch hockey, I love seeing a big hit, and I want to be that guy.
So has Bill talked to you about when to make those big hits and when to back off? Because it's an art, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he always wants me to be aggressive. When I do video with him, like there's sometimes where he says you can go there, but he always wants me to like play my game. And yeah, there's some times that I should stay back, and he talks to me about those times, but he always wants me to play my game.
I remember at the draft table, your name was called, and all the guys in the draft. It was a table like this, but maybe 4 times as long, and there's about 20 guys around the table, and they wanted you specifically for the 8 games that we play against Sudbury, because those get pretty intense. And I thought, well, okay, well, he's 16 years old. Maybe you were 15 at the time. How are you going to make an impact against Sudbury? But now that we've seen you, and there's a game, just happens to be a game on Sunday, and hopefully you're in the lineup, because that's why you were drafted. And what did you feel the vibe already in those games against Sudbury?
I mean, yeah, I think the best game I played this year was in Sudbury. We had a few D hurt, so I got some good minutes that game. I ended up having an assist, but I don't know. I just felt my game, like my confidence was super high there. I like going to Sudbury because the fans, like every time we score, they boo us, and when they come here, we boo them. And I love the rivalry, but yeah, hopefully this Sunday, it should be good again. And Coach always says like some of the best games you've played have been against Sudbury, and I agree with him. I think some of the best games I've had have been against Sudbury.
Your name was announced in the middle of the summer, and so we're kind of paying attention to hockey, but we're paying attention to the Blue Jays as well. And so tell us how it came to be that you were selected of the USHL. Who talked to you? Who called you? Was it your agent involved? And what did you know about North Bay, and why did you decide to come?
Yeah, it was my agent. We had some discussions throughout last year as the rule changed, and just decided that it was something I'd be interested in. And so a lot of that process was through Adam Denny, and had some Zoom calls, had some video Zoom calls with Uli, and I just decided that North Bay was going to be the spot where I'd sign and where I'd head over.
Your brother plays in the OHL as well, right? So what's this been like for your parents this year? Because you got one brother who plays in Saginaw, and you got one a bit north in North Bay. So
Yep.
How much have they seen you guys, and what's it been like for them?
Yeah, my parents, I mean, we're from Florida, so it's kind of tough sometimes with travel, but they've done a really good job coming out and coming to see me, which I love. I cherish that. And unfortunately, we've only played my brother Levi and Saginaw 2 times, so they were at both of those games. And I don't know if you guys saw, but it was on social media. They got one of the Centurion jerseys and split it in half with North Bay and then
Very
Saginaw.
cool.
So it was pretty cool. It was a cool moment. And my older sister and dad, they were all there, so it was awesome.
Well, we talked at one of the intermission interviews with you. We talked about your family being a football family, and I asked you, how is it that you became involved in hockey? You can tell us that story, how you got involved with hockey, but also, are you a Lightning fan or a Panthers fan, or neither?
That's a good question. I'm a Lightning fan. In Tampa Bay, you got to cheer for the Lightning, and it's a good team to cheer for. But yeah, big football family. My grandpa on my mom and dad's side, they both played. My grandpa on my dad's side was a running back, played on the Dolphins. Yeah, and then my grandpa on my mom's side played at Michigan State for football. So, yeah, my dad, he also played as well, pretty high level. Could have played in college. He didn't. His body was pretty beat up. So he kind of veered me away from football. But I started playing hockey. I mean, I started skating when I was about 3, so really young. And that started because my older sister had a figure skating birthday party, and I wandered off into another sheet of ice and saw a high school hockey game, and I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I told my mom.
Awesome.
So that's it.
How big is hockey in Florida?
Now it's actually pretty big. I don't know if you'd really expect that in Florida, but it's definitely grown ever since the Lightning, they went back to back on Stanley Cup, and now the Panthers have been a powerhouse recently. So I think kids have just been really wanting to get into it and watching these games and just really, really enjoying it like I did. So yeah, it's grown a lot.
I was going to ask you, one of the previous podcasts we had, one of the players mentioned that you're out bench pressing the whole team or just those guys, but maybe you can just provide some clarity around that. Like, what are you bench pressing, and are you, in fact, on the leaderboard?
The boys are going to hate me for this because I always talk about it and they're sick of it. But yeah, I would say I bench the most on the team, and I love to brag about it too, just being as one of the younger guys. So
give us a number. What's the number?
305 pounds for one.
Oh, that is impressive, man.
Yeah.
So how does that, bench pressing 305, how does that help you as a defenseman? Give this young man some advice.
I mean, he's saying it doesn't, but I mean, muscle's muscle, right? You weigh more, so you're gonna hit harder. I think. But I mean, he's saying it doesn't, but you could argue either way.
One of my favorite moments of the season, though, every game sheet we get when I do the announcements for the goals and penalties and everything, we get a sheet saying, this guy hasn't scored yet, or his first goal as a member of the battalion, or his first goal in the OHL. When you scored that first goal, the whole team basically came over you, all the guys on the ice. They didn't even wait till you skated to do the line congratulating you. It's obviously a great thing to share with your brothers, right, that first goal?
Yeah, obviously it took me a couple of games to get my first goal, about half the season. But once I did, I think the boys were more hyped than I was because they were always saying, like, this is the game, this is the game. And once it finally happened, obviously I was extremely excited, but the boys were super hype. I mean, they got the puck right away. And then even after the game, they were just celebrating it. We even went for dinner for it.
There you go. Who paid?
Well, I paid for me and some of my buddies, but yeah.
It doesn't sound quite right.
No, I know. Okay, last one from Ranj, and then we'll take a break.
Okay, so big weekend coming up. Last 8 games of the season. You guys have been playing very well as a group. 8 wins out of your last 9. How do you keep the intensity going? How do you not rest on your laurels against a 10th place Eastern Conference team on Thursday, but then a very tough game on Saturday night? How do you keep the intensity up and keep good habits going?
Yeah, the Generals have been a really good team. After the deadline, we discussed this today in the locker room, and you don't take them lightly. It's like any other opponent. You go in with swagger and do what you've been doing, and use your week of practice and just keep the ball rolling and just take them down, keep going with what you've been doing.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say we're preparing for playoffs, so we got to play like it's a playoff game, and like I think you guys mentioned earlier, we're playing for home ice against Peterborough, so we need those wins and we need those points.
We were talking earlier about 7D. Quite often on any given night, 7D means you play with some different D partners even within the same game. So what kind of challenges does that present? And if you had a preference, who do you think you enjoy playing the most with in terms of the rotation?
I mean, yeah, 7D is it's a rotation, and obviously I play with a lot of other defensemen, like you said, but I can really play with anyone and anybody on the team. Like the other defensemen can play their offside, they can play with anybody else. But I would say if I had to play with someone, Aaron Enright or Harps. I play with Harps a little bit. And Aaron, I grew up with him, and I played in games with him before, and I played with his brother all last year. But I wouldn't say I have a preference. I could really play with anybody, and I think the other defensemen could play with anybody as well.
You got a chance to brag about bench pressing 305 or 306? 305. Okay. What do you like most about Brandt Harper's game?
He's super calm with the puck. On the blue line, there's this one move that, and he's going down the wall. Earlier in the year, I did it, and then he came up to me and was like, "Nice move." I'm like, "I learned that from you." But he's super calm with the puck. On the breakout, like when he has 4 checkers on him, like he can take a hit to make a play. He plays both sides of the puck, offensively and defensively. But yeah, he's just super calm with the puck, and that's something that I've been trying to put in my game.
Thanks, Kuno.
Good honest critique of Brandt Harper.
Right, there you go. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you. It seems like time runs out so quick when we have our guests on, and and we're having a good chat. But we'll definitely have you back on Troops Trio at a later date. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got our Troops Trivia question, and then AJ will join us right here. This is Troops Trio, the official podcast of the North Bay Battalion.
What makes Cogeco so different?
11,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable.
Lit stitch is so easy. Just loop it around.
And we're right around the corner for you.
So I get to talk to someone who gets me.
And we're talking 100% local support on a world-class network. That's how we roll.
Cogeco, your local connection.
Welcome back. We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as Sports Illustrated Tickets and our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, the Fox and Fiddle, and the Moose Cookhouse, where we are live tonight. Here is this week's trivia question. Who was the last defenseman to score a game-winning goal for the Troops? It happened just this past weekend. Put your answer in the comments section below on our YouTube page to win a signed puck by Brandt Harper. Again, the question, who was the last defenseman to score a game-winning goal for the Troops? And it happened just this past weekend. All right, AJ's here, everybody.
Yeah,
AJ!
yeah. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
How's it going?
I'm good. Question, 305 pounds? What are you doing, Bobby?
That's almost me. Almost me.
Almost.
Hey,
I saw
he
when
could easily lift me.
I saw when Carter said that Matt almost fell off the bench there. So that's what do you do?
I'm up to 155 now, so about half of that.
Yeah, that's good math.
Thank you.
Ranjan.
It's also good weightlifting, but
Ranjan's like, "Where's the gym? I know that guy. I know that guy. He's my neighbor."
I know that gym.
Burgers, though, are really good here, by the way.
I'd had a double
which
smash
isn't going to help
burger.
my weight gaining or lifting weights, but
It's called
the
a
burgers
smash.
are really good
It's a
here.
smash burger.
How old is Carter?
Carter is 16.
16,
Yeah.
305. What a beast.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But not 306.
Yeah, I thought about that after I said it. Like, how do you even
How do you
get
get 1 extra pound on the bar?
Shows how much I
somewhere,
know
right?
about the gym. Things have changed, though, since I was in the gym.
So it's been a while then.
It has been a while.
When was the last time? Was it the
I was
80s?
never a big bench presser.
1992.
You're a guy like
He
a,
hogs
you're
up
a
the treadmill,
he's
yeah.
a treadmill guy, an elliptical kind of guy. Likes to do the flow, you know.
The flow, motion. At my age, it's about strength and balance.
Yes.
Right? Balance is important.
That's what I hear anyway. What else you got for us?
I have a fan question for you.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's been a little while. This one is from Sherry from North Bay. And Sherry wants to know, with 8 games left in the season, where do you think the Battalion will finish? And how many points do you think that they'll get? Now, right now, they got 71 points. 8 games left, so that's a maximum 16. So 87 points is the max they could get. What are you guys thinking, Ranjan?
That's our question?
Yes, the person just wants to know how well we got 8 games left. Are the Battalion going to,
6 are at home, 2 on the road. We have a 19-9 record at home, so we're winning 2 out of 3 games at home. So we're going to 2 out of 3 games down the stretch. You're 6.
You've already
2 out of
lost
3,
me.
4,
Like, what were you?
That's
What were you talking?
Give him a
That was like gibberish.
83 points.
83 points. All right.
I was going to throw out 82,
So-
but
so
I didn't do any of the math.
Now 83 points. Is that giving us 4th place or 5th place?
We are going to be. This is a question for Bob because we're going to be dead even with Peterborough points-wise at the end of the season. Then it's regulation and overtime wins. ROW.
It comes up later in the show, so let's hold off that part of it till later in the show because there is a question later in the show about whether the Battalion will finish 4th. So,
All right,
but
sounds
as far
good.
I think they're going to go because there's going to be overtime game in there. There might be a shootout game in there. So I'm going to say they're going to go 5-2-1 down the stretch. 11 points is what they'll get. So where does that put you? 82?
84.
What'd you say? You said 5, so that's
they
10.
get 11 points.
So
that's
11,
82.
so that'd be 82, yeah.
I'll say 82.
You know, we just learned our math sucks. just sucks.
No, his was pretty good.
Well,
and
'cause
then he
he-
cut him off.
Well, it's because he just baffles you with stuff, right? And you're like, what did he just say?
It's the word
E
salad.
equals
It's a
MC
number,
square.
A number salad.
Yeah, I was gonna say 82 as well, but like I said, I didn't do any of the math. I just thought 82. That sounds like a good number.
The real
They'll get
question
there.
is strength of schedule. You know how they talk in the
Yes.
NFL, strength of schedule?
So it's Oshawa, Barrie, Sudbury, Brantford, Peterborough, Brampton, Brantford, Sudbury.
So we have some of the
pretty
best
tough.
and some of the worst teams
Yeah.
coming up. Like it's
Yeah.
nothing in between.
There's
It's either
nothing in
you're
between,
either a
yeah.
basement dweller or you're leading the league. So we got some tough ones. I can't wait for the Peterborough game though. That Peterborough game is going to be a barn burner. I'm thinking.
Electric.
And this year they've really gotten up for the teams ahead of them in the standings, and you can't overlook the teams below them in the standings now. So every game is going to be big for them if they want to finish fourth.
Well, and I saw a stat the other day that came on the OHL that said something about Sudbury has lost more games to the North Bay Battalion than any team in the OHL. Did you see that?
Like in what's the time frame? I mean,
I'm not too sure what it said, but
probably-
it was they were promoting the Northern game the other day, and it mentioned that we kicked the crap out of them.
I had it.
Well, we get the Battalion communique every game. The team does a really good job setting us up. That has lifetime records against all the other franchises. Every one of them, like Plymouth, every franchise. And yeah, Sudbury has lost a ton of games to North Bay and Brampton.
And this year, for example, they had a stat. I think North Bay's 5-1 against Sudbury this year, and they've only outscored them by, I think, 6 goals.
Really?
So Sudbury's been in all those games, but when the games are on the line, the Battalion get the points and the Wolves don't.
So the last 5 years between these two teams, North Bay is 28, 9-3-2, while Sudbury is 14,
Wow.
24, 3-1. That is what you would call lopsided.
No kidding. Maybe that's why they don't give us them as a rival anymore. They use Barrie.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah, no kidding.
Not really a rival when you're doing that to them.
It is so fascinating that Sudbury always falls on their face every year, regular season playoffs. But they've had star players like Musty, Byfield, Goyette, players like that, Villeneuve. They just can't get it done as a group. And it's really it's discouraging because you'd like to see some potentially an Eastern Conference final between these two teams at some point.
But they will play each other twice more this season, both games at home. Speaking about home games, what else you got for us?
Well, this Thursday night, the Oshawa Generals are in town. It's Casino Royale night presented by Cascades Casino. Now, I was asking Owen what the prizes to be given away. He said it's a secret. But I know that in the last few years, I know
It's a
Owen,
secret, Mr. Bond.
But in the last few years, that there's been some good prizing from Cascade Casino. So Thursday, make sure you're at the rink, and then Sunday, guess what, guys? We're having the biggest birthday party ever. You know whose birthday it is?
Oh,
Sarge.
Sarge, that's right.
I knew
Our
it.
beloved mascot.
Where-
His birthday.
Where is he tonight?
He's getting ready for his birthday.
Okay.
He's got to get his uniform all
Wednesday,
pressed
Thursday,
and all
Friday,
that stuff.
Saturday, Sunday, 5 days.
And there's going to be other mascots going to be here on Sunday to enjoy and celebrate his birthday. Now in the second intermission, it's a surprise. I don't think Sarge watches the podcast. Don't be offended.
What?
But that's what I heard. Anyways, so he's not going to hear this, but we're going to sing him happy birthday in the second intermission. So we're going to get all the fans, 3,500 people singing their hearts out to Sarge and showing their appreciation. It's also Kids Club Day, so I know Grimace from McDonald's will be there. You know what? This is going to be one heck of a party. And, of course, there is a hockey game as well.
That's right.
It's those Wolves are in town. So
All right. So, Casino Royale on Thursday. Make sure you wear your tuxedo to the rink. And then...
Sunday?
I was gonna say
Sunday?
make sure you wear a birthday suit on Sunday, but that's not right.
We don't want to see Reg in a birthday suit. All right,
definitely not.
I didn't know where I was going with that. So.
You got to wear clothes on Sunday's game, okay?
Even if it is Sarge's birthday.
And you know what? In March is our March to playoffs, so we're gonna have every game. We're gonna have different themes coming up. St. Patty's Day.
Nice.
So just stay tuned to our socials, battalionhockey.com for more information. And I know that executive producer over there is losing it because we're gone way past time. So I'm going to leave you guys with that note.
All right, thanks so much, AJ. When we come
Thanks,
back,
AJ.
we'll hear from head coach Ryan Olhan as well as head coach of the Wolves, Scott Barney. And we'll get to see something else that the troops got up to over the weekend. And we'll finish it off with everyone's favorite segment.
1 minute to ceasefire.
All of that right here on Troops Trio, the official podcast of the North Bay Battalion.
Wow, I can't believe we're in here. Does Justin know you're doing this?
Look at this beauty. He inducted himself. You can do that? Of course you can't do that. Smells like a teenager.
I'm sorry, but I don't speak French. But that's not the reason I cheer for the Leafs.
Welcome back. We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you this show, as well as Sports Illustrated tickets and our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, the Fox and Fiddle, and the Moose Cookhouse, where we are live tonight. So it was a busy weekend for the troops, both on and off the ice. Celebrated Dad's Weekend. The team also paid a visit to the outdoor ranking calendar at the Bill Barber Complex, and I hear we have some footage of all that happening. Yes?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great. Producer Gerald, let's play that.
Well, a spirited practice, a shootout with the dads. You must be getting all you wanted out of this day for the team.
This is awesome. I mean, number one, we're blessed with an awesome day of weather. The ice is great, actually very impressive. And then having some sun and just being out here, the day-to-day sometimes with what we do just gets grinding and it can take a toll. So when you have an opportunity to freshen things up and come out here and then have the dads around, got a little competitive there in the shootout, I just see a ton of smiles, guys having a blast, and that's really all we wanted to get out of this today.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about, just being outdoors. So many of the guys grew up playing outdoors, maybe not as much as some other players, but everyone sort of played outdoors, and it takes you back to why you started up playing hockey, doesn't it?
Well, it's the purest the game is. I mean, when you think about as a kid, when you start playing hockey, it's just everybody can play. Whether you're in organized hockey or not, you can just go out and play. And this is just the purest the sport can be. So I think we've all had situations where whether it's road hockey, outdoor rinks, no matter what it is, there's no stress out here. It's just guys literally enjoying the game for what it is and having a blast.
What was it like in that practice, having fun with all the dads?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to come out here, go on the outdoor rink, spend time with the dads, spend time with the calendar fans here too, so it was a very fun practice.
Now, did you guys grow up playing outdoors or indoors?
Outdoors all the time. I mean, he was a guy that'd stay outside on the side of the bench or whatever and just watch me play for hours on end, so it was always awesome.
What about you? Great number of people here today. A lot of dads showed up to take part in this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like pretty much everybody's here, so yeah, we're having a great time. It's a little cold out, but we're still having a good time though.
The benefits you think on for these youngsters being outdoors, with their dads in a community, a lot of fans here today. What do you think that says about them?
Oh, it says a lot of things about them. Like pretty much growing up, we did this all the time, so it just brings us back to when we were younger and all that. So just good memories and having fun with the boys. So
we've had a great turnout. Last year it was great. This year we've been able to get the battalion dads out here. All the players love this event. It's nice to get out in the community, especially within the calendar community, as it is a smaller town. But we're really excited that the dads were able to come. Some of the billet families as well.
Now, I know you like to take more of an understated role, but there must be a lot of pride within the office that, you come up with plans and then you see the reality of what you work towards.
It's honestly amazing. I'm so glad that the players are so willing to come out in the community and get out here with me. It's honestly such an honor to be a part of this team and to have my name in the community with these players. They love being out here. They love the kids. They love the families.
Skating outdoors with your teammates and your fellow dads. So what's that been like for you?
It's obviously pretty cool. Not every team gets to have a dad's weekend like this, so it's pretty cool, especially having an ODR to skate on. So yeah, it's been fun.
And you still got some moves out there.
Yeah, well, I also run a goalie school, so I'm on the ice quite a bit. So I'm always shooting pucks on goalies. I run a goalie school called the Crease, so I spend a lot of time on the ice still.
You played in the OHL a long time ago, but you must have this amazing pride with both your sons playing in the OHL right now.
Absolutely. It's, we're going back about 25 years, and just watching my kids play in some of the rinks that I played in is definitely a lot of pride in the family. As everyone knows, Liam wears number 29. That's a number I wore, so it definitely makes me proud.
And for you, the season is really a grind. With days like this, being outdoors with your teammates, seeing the interest out here in Calendar today, days like today are special, aren't they?
Yeah, and obviously, like you said, the grind of the season, it gets your mind off the season a little bit. So, yeah, it's definitely pretty special.
Yeah, it was a great day. I mean, they started it off with a battalion practice, and then the dads got involved. They did a shootout competition with the dads and the battalion players trying to score in the battalion goalies. And then after a bite to eat, they came back out with the community, and all the kids were on the ice with the battalion. The dads had a great time, part of Dad's weekend, and the players just enjoyed the whole experience, just being with their dads and being with the community. A lot of the kids, a lot of young kids are out there, and really going to help, I think, recruit battalion fans, just seeing their heroes out there skating with them. It was a beautiful day, sunny, it wasn't too cold, so it was lots of fun being out there with everybody.
Seems like a very unique venue. I don't know how many teams around the league would have an opportunity to play in a complex like the Bill Barber in an outdoor setting, but with a roof, and ice conditions look pretty good.
Ice conditions were great, and it's a great partnership. Another example of the great partnership the battalion do with this was with the Calendar Council and opening up the facility to the battalion, and battalion get involved and really have a great community outreach, and we saw another example of that on Saturday.
Awesome. Looking ahead this week, the battalion have 3 games, one with Oshawa in town on Thursday. They head to Barrie on Saturday night before coming home to host Sudbury on Sunday afternoon. Let's hear what head coach Ryan Olan had to say about the upcoming schedule. Producer Gerald.
Let's talk about this week, because if you look at the standings, it's not a so-called difficult schedule, but as you say, no game is easy in this league. You got Oshawa here on Thursday, obviously a tough game in Barrie coming up on Saturday. They've already won the division. And then Sunday back here against Sudbury. So how do you look at this week?
I think this week is one of the tougher ones we've had here in a few weeks. Even though we were on the road 2 weeks ago, I see this one as it can pose some problems. Like I said, Oshawa is playing really good hockey. I'm just diving into them a little bit deeper, and you can't just look at them as a whole season. They did some tinkering at the deadline, and they're a much better team since January 9th or 10th, and have been getting some wins lately and playing really good hockey. So we got to be ready for them. And then we got the old daylight savings this weekend. We're heading to Barrie on Saturday night, and Sudbury does not play on Saturday, so they'll be waiting for us on Sunday. So those are all the little things that I get to dissect and look into to manage, sort of manage our energy levels and make sure that we're fresh and ready to go for all 3 games this weekend, because we can't let off. Peterborough had another big win on Sunday against Flint, so we're trying to keep the pace and trying to close that gap and hopefully keep moving up here.
Yeah, it's a tough turnaround. You go Saturday night in Barrie. They always start those games late in Barrie, so the game won't end till about 10:15. You may not get off the out of Barrie until 11:15. 2.5 hours later is 1:30. You're getting back into North Bay. Maybe you don't get into bed until 2:30, and you're going to be at the rink at really 11 o'clock, right? Because of the time change. So it is a tough turnaround, and you can't overlook Oshawa. You can't overlook anybody. So, these points are so precious for them.
Yeah, I think it's a good test, but we're basically in playoff mode now, and the team has to be prepared to to have those quick turnarounds, because sometimes you have that in the playoffs. In the first round, there could be a Game 6 and a Game 7, one after the other. Long bus ride to Peterborough or from Peterborough, depending how it shakes down.
Yeah, and so after the Oshawa game and then the Barrie game, they come back home. Sudbury is up on deck, and Bob, you had a chance to catch up with head coach Scott Barney of the Sudbury Wolves. So let's hear from him now. Producer Gerald.
Okay, Bob Coles here with Scott Barney, the head coach of the Sudbury Wolves. And Scott, looking at your team last week, you had 3 solid efforts. You were right in there against the Sioux. You battled North Bay pretty hard, close game on Friday night, and you beat Kingston on Sunday. So how do you look at how you've been playing recently with some of your new additions?
Yeah, Bob, we're like really happy since the deadline, right? That everybody's bought into the way we want to play, and similar to probably North Bay last year, right? When you guys made a bunch of moves, and you got guys playing in the right way and for the team, right? And usually you can have some success. And in any given night, we're usually in the game, and you know what? Sometimes it's you take your foot off the gas for a little bit. And we saw that against North Bay the other night, and they put a couple quick goals in. But overall, we're pretty happy here with our group.
Obviously, there's been a big roster turnover over maybe the last 12 months. A lot of the veterans are gone. Known to Wolves fans, you brought in some new guys, Lemieux, Hovan, Nemec, just to name 3. The decision to go younger, how is that being met in Sudbury?
I think pretty good. The fans seem, when you're walking around town talking, they like the effort the guys putting in, right? And that's all fans want. They want an honest effort from the guys, and it's good for those players moving on too, right? They get a chance to try to win a championship. They've helped build a lot of things here, but right now we got a group of guys that just are playing for each other and for the team, and any given night someone's having success, but like you mentioned, Nemec, Hovan, and Lemieux, they've had good success and good chemistry together for the games they've played.
Let's talk about the series of the Battalion. On the surface, people look, North Bay's won most of the games, but I think they had a stat the other day. I think North Bay's outscored you by just 6 goals, even though they've won 5 of the games. What have you seen in the season series so far?
Yeah, it's been good. And again, I guess I go back to just around the deadline. I think there was a close one down in North Bay last time we were down there. Came right down to the third period at the end there, and then again here the other night. And North Bay plays playoff style hockey. I like their team. They're big, they're strong, they're physical. Ryan does a great job making sure everybody gets a full commitment there for his players and his staff. And we're doing similar thing here in Sudbury. And like obviously they're in 4th place there, and it looks like they're going to play Peterborough in the first round, right? And so I'm sure they're trying to get their habits right, and we're trying to do the same over here, is make sure our habits are good on each and every shift for 60 minutes. We need to play a full 60.
Well, it looks like you guys are in the playoffs too. There's a big gap now between yourselves and Brampton. So how do you sort of prepare your team for what's to come in the games you have down the stretch?
Yeah, for us, it's more the same. Like, we've been playing playoff hockey here for about a couple months, right? And if you go back to November 17th, we were 9 points out of a playoff spot. Right now, we're sitting 11 points in a playoff spot. So, that's a great feather in the hat there for the players that have committed and not quit, right? You could have went either way, and we have a deadline where the players stepped up a notch here, and for us, it's just every game's got to be like it's a playoff game. And I think we don't have the group to be able to take our foot off the gas and hope for a couple easy skilled goals. We gotta work for everything we get, and I think that's the only reason and only way we'll have success here right now.
As for Sunday's game, what do you have to do to get on that bus at about 4:30 with 2 points in your back pocket?
Yeah, you got to come out physical, right? I think every game we play with North Bay, it's a physical effort. Games are won and lost with the neutral zone. We got to get pucks deep behind their D, and they got great goaltending. Leeson's played great against us in the games, and we need to have the same here, and hopefully it's a close game, right? And a 2-1, 3-2 game would be great, and for us it'd be huge for us. Momentum after a weekend set is always nice to win that last game.
Okay, thanks for this, and we'll see you on Sunday.
No problem, Bob. Take care.
Scott Barney, the head coach of the Sudbury Wolves.
And like we touched on with when AJ was here, the Sudbury North Bay rivalry. I mean, it still is a rivalry, but North Bay has really dominated it, at least over the last 5 years, maybe even going back further, right? I can really only recall maybe 2 or 3 seasons where Sudbury and North Bay were both competitive at the same time. That doesn't mean you can overlook them as they come in with still 2 games to play against North Bay in North Bay this year.
Yeah, no, Sudbury definitely carries a punch, and they always get up for the games just as much as we get up for those games as well. And they were a little embarrassed and maybe disappointed with the way things turned out in Sudbury in a 6-3 loss to North Bay. So, we've got to be ready for them on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's interesting with Sudbury. They've gotten rid of a lot of their veteran players that like to cause the Battalion problems, and they brought in some younger guys. So they're trying to see some growth late in the year. They're going to be in the playoffs, but it's right now they're struggling in close games. Wednesday against the Sioux, they were tied after 2. They lost. Friday against the Battalion, they were tied after 2. They lost. So I think they're still trying to, as a young team, they're still trying to find their way in these close games.
Absolutely. All right. That's going to take us to our favorite segment.
1 minute to ceasefire.
Before we go, let's play. Producer Gerald, let's put those topics up on the board. 5 topics, 1 minute each topic. We'll start with this one. Question 1. When will the Anaheim Ducks finally sign Ethan Procession?
Well, hopefully very soon. I mean, last year he got a lot of ice time on a team that was struggling and put out some good numbers. But this year, I think everyone has seen the leadership that he's shown on the ice and off the ice, helping the team in so many ways. He's improved his plays, improved his skating. He's improved his shot. It's time to get a deal.
I think that we're not going to see it for a while. Each pro team has 50 contracts. Anaheim has 44 players signed to contract, so they have 6 spots. They have about 4 guys similar to Ethan Procession that are who their rights expire July 1st. So they have to wait. And I think they're going to be making some moves at the trade deadline. Who knows if picks are going to be involved or what assets are going to be involved. So they have to wait till the dust settles on that before they offer Ethan Procession a contract. I think totally deserves one.
If he keeps scoring at this rate, he's got the second most goals in the Question 2. Who are the beasts of the East this year? Brantford or Barrie? And which team does nobody else want to play in the playoffs?
Well, I think there's 2 different answers there. I think the beast of the East is Barrie. The team that people don't want to play is Brantford. Barrie, because I think their goaltending's a little better, and Brantford's, very high scoring. That's their strength. So I would say the best team is Barrie, but you don't want to play Brantford either because they can really embarrass you.
I think the 2 teams are neck and neck. It's a really tough call. You're going to see Thursday on the out-of-town scoreboard, Barrie and Brantford playing. I don't know, Bob. Good goaltending, Leenders and Egorov and Brantford. It's kind of like a 2-headed monster. It's a toss-up for me.
I think it's the Bulldogs. I mean, Barrie's been really good, but I've seen the way they played against the Battalion, and outside the one, I think it was a 6-3 game last month. I thought the Battalion held their own against them every time they played them. So we'll leave it at that. The OHL reached out to Cornwall to do a potential site visit. Is expansion on the horizon in the OHL? That's topic 3.
Well, I think it's on the horizon. They'll have to look at, obviously, whether it's a good market. And I know it's great historically that Cornwall used to be a power in the OHL back in the day. I know our friend in Kitchener, Mike Farwell, wants to see Cornwall back in the league. So, there seems to be a push there. So we don't be surprised.
I think there's 4 viable markets that they're looking at. Cornwall being one of them. The other one would be Vaughan, who've just invested some money in a feasibility study. Mm-hmm. Burlington is another. And the 4th one, maybe the most realistic one, is Niagara Falls, New York.
You don't think the Ice Dogs would try to veto something that close to them, or Erie?
They might, but I don't think it's the same kind of a situation as the NHL where teams would want to veto each other. Niagara Falls, New York is looking to spend $200 million on a multi-use complex.
All right. Will the Battalion be able to overcome the Petes and lock up home ice before the season ends? See, we kind of had a preview on this, but what are our answers?
I say they will finish fourth. I think they've been gaining ground on Peterborough the last couple weeks. They're playing really well for the next few games. The schedule looks not bad this week, so they could gain some ground this week. Peterborough's got some rivalry games, so yeah, I'd say they're going to finish ahead of the Petes.
6 of Peterborough's 8 remaining games are on the road. They are not a great road team, 11-15 on the road so far this season. 6 of North Bay's 8 remaining games are at home. North Bay's a beast at home, 19-9 record. I think there's a really good chance that we could reel Peterborough in.
Yeah, I think they are going to leapfrog over them, and I think it's going to be important for them to get home ice advantage. Like you said, Peterborough is a much better team at home, and so I don't think that, either team has a huge advantage no matter who has home ice, but I do think Peterborough just is a little bit tougher to play in Peterborough. So.
You never get to finish your thought.
I was close that time though.
AJ would not let you be on the 32 Thoughts podcast.
No, he certainly would not.
15 and a half thoughts.
And last but not least, topic number 5. Evgeny Dubravtsev was just named Rookie of the Week. Can he be a dark horse scoring leader in the playoffs?
Yes, of course. You notice a guy getting better and better, but he hasn't shown it on the stat sheet, and that changed last week. He was getting better and better, and he got a couple of goals, and then he got a goal in the next game, I think, too. So, yeah, he's improving. He's getting more confident. He's going to the front of the net more. He's getting some big goals. So, yeah, I would say he's not a dark horse anymore. I think they can rely on his goal scoring.
It's so important. He's an 18th pick overall in the import draft. That's a high pick when you have 60 CHL teams. They had big expectations of him. He's a 2008 birthday. Strength down the middle dictates your success in the playoffs, and he gives them a viable face-off man in the playoffs, and now he's starting to score. His confidence, you can just see it, is building.
Yeah, I talked to head coach Ryan Olahan after the Thursday game, the game that he scored the 2 goals against the Kingston Frontenacs, and he said he thinks Dubravtsev can be an elite scorer in this league. He's 17 years old, 33 points this season. I think he's finding it. I think he'll find another step in the
and I gave you 10 extra seconds. So
in the playoffs. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. In the playoffs. That's going to wrap up today's show. We want to thank Happy Dad Beverages for bringing you the show, as well as Sports Illustrated Tickets and our community sponsors, the City of North Bay, the Boat North Bay, the Clubhouse at Gateway Golf, the Fox and Fiddle, and a huge thank you to the Moose Cookhouse for letting us take over the restaurant for a little while. Make sure you check out the Battalion social media channels to find out all the latest with Troops Trio. And if you're enjoying the show on YouTube, why not come down and join us for a live taping. Don't forget, you can send your comments and questions to us at our email, troopstrio@battalionhockey.com. We want to thank Carter Kunopaski and Brandt Harper for joining us, as well as head coach Ryan Olahan and Scott Barney, and for taking the time out to chat as well. We thank our camera operators, Marley, our show coordinator, Owen, producer, Gerald, our hype man, AJ Jakeman, and executive producer, Steve Battanti. For Bob Coles and Ranjan Rupal, I'm Matthew Sukram, and this has been Troops Trio.